Hey everyone, and welcome back to another cryptocurrency video. In today's video we will be discussing the United States dollar index and why it pays relevance to the Bitcoin price. If you like these type of videos, make sure you hit that thumbs up, make sure you hit that subscribe button as it means a lot to me. And if you are a fan of cryptocurrency, I have a cryptocurrency shop where you can shop cryptocurrency products. I'll leave a link in the description down below so you can get a nice discount off your next purchase. So without further ado, let's begin. And with regards to the US dollar index, we can clearly utilize this index and compare it with Bitcoin and cryptocurrency as a whole. But not only that, we can compare it to risk assets as a whole and compare it to the stock market as well. One of the best ways to compare it to the crypto market is by overlaying the Bitcoin USD chart. And we can clearly see that over a sort of a long time period, you can utilize this chart and we can clearly see that there is a negative correlation between the US dollar index and the Bitcoin USD chart. What do I mean by this? Well, we can clearly see that a couple of cycles ago when Bitcoin had its massive bull run, you can clearly see that the US dollar index chart was dropping down. So a negative correlation right there. As the US dollar index was trending up, Bitcoin USD was stagnant and essentially trading sideways, if not down. Again, when Bitcoin had its massive bull run last cycle, the US dollar index was trending down. And same again, when the US dollar index was trending up, Bitcoin had its own bear market. So over the medium to long term, you can essentially utilize this chart to sort of predict where one index will go, and where that one index will go, the other index will go in the opposite direction. Do you understand? It is essentially that simple. You can't really use this on a small time frame because there are a few instances where the US dollar index will go up and Bitcoin USD will follow. For example, the US dollar index went up here, and same thing with Bitcoin USD. But over the sort of medium long term, you can clearly see that there is a strong positive negative correlation between the US dollar index and the Bitcoin USD price chart. And why? Why is that the case? Well, the US dollar index chart, whenever that goes into a significant uptrend, that clearly signifies that the economy or financial markets are on a risk-off environment. And on the other hand, when USD is in a downtrend, that signifies that financial markets and the economy is in a risk-on environment. That's just how it works. Why is that the case? Well, because when USD goes down, a lot of individuals or investors don't like the strength of the dollar, so they'd rather utilize their cash, and instead of holding cash, invest it into risk-on assets, and vice versa. So that is how you can compare it to Bitcoin USD. You can sort of compare it to other cryptocurrency assets, but you can further see the stronger correlation between US dollar index and Bitcoin USD, as Bitcoin USD is the number one cryptocurrency out there. It is the king. Yeah, it speaks on behalf of all other cryptocurrencies. Another thing that I've come to notice is that the US dollar index chart looks very similar to the Bitcoin dominance chart. And allow me to explain why I say that, because I am of the opinion that the US dollar index chart will continue towards an uptrend, probably by mid-year, towards the end of the year. I do believe that the US dollar index chart will continue to climb higher. I don't think it will drop lower. And just by comparing it to the Bitcoin dominance, let's say, I believe it will be heading higher, because if you look at the Bitcoin dominance, just look at this right here. Yeah, this sort of distribution phase once the altcoin market went on its parabolic rally, and then the Bitcoin dominance was stagnant for a year or so. If we compare it to the US dollar index, you can see that it is eerily similar, where it puts in a low, bounces, puts in a higher low, but then puts in a lower high, then puts in a lower low, then puts in a higher high, back tests, bounces, comes back down to the range, and then off to the races. That is the exact play that the Bitcoin dominance portrayed. If we take a look at dominance, so as I just mentioned, we've come down, we've bounced, put in a lower low, then a lower high, then a lower low, then a higher high, back test with the bounce, and then off to the races. It's very eerily similar. Of course, you cannot take this to the bank, but it is something to mention as we are in this constricting financial economy where interest rates will be paused and they will be higher for longer. It is just a thing of observation and some sort of an analysis that I am keeping my eye on, because if this is to continue, then of course we must assume that Bitcoin USD will now go into a downtrend if the US dollar index is heading higher and going into an uptrend, as we have just analyzed that the US dollar index and Bitcoin USD have a strong positive negative correlation. So that is it from me today, guys. I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, smash that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and as always, it's been your boy J1 General. Thank you and goodbye.